Yo, YouTube, what is up? Welcome back to the Radar for Wrestling Studios.
What up, Mox?
As Monday Night Raw just finished up, the episode after Royal Rumble with Edge, your Royal Rumble winner, and he has yet to declare who he's facing. But we got like another greatest wrestling match of all time in this one between Randy and Edge.
Rematch.
We only have one takeaway from the show. It wasn't the best show. Obviously, it's Monday Night Raw, so it really never is. That is what it is. So we're gonna get into that one takeaway, and then at the end of the episode, make sure you tune in all the way to the end. We're gonna talk about some issues going on with Christian. Is he going to stick around? Remember, he showed up at the Royal Rumble last night, surprise entrant. And John Cena's WrestleMania 37 status seems to have been revealed. So stay tuned to the end to get the info on that and our opinions on those things. So let's get right into it. One takeaway from Monday Night Raw. But before we do, I remind you guys, drop a like and a comment on this video because it helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. We appreciate all you guys talking with us, letting us know what you guys think about Monday Night Raw, about the videos we're making and the content and all that good stuff. We love conversating, growing the community, so let's continue it. And appreciate all the new subscribers. And if you're not subscribed and you're watching, please do subscribe to the channel, notification bell, you guys, when the new videos drop. Follow the social medias, you already know what that story is. I'll pop on the screen. Let's get right into it. One takeaway from Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw started off with your WWE champion, still WWE champion, after defeating Goldberg last night at the Royal Rumble. Drew McIntyre's out there, and he's basically just putting over everything that happened at the Rumble the night before, all the matches and stuff like that. Then he's gonna talk about Edge, well, even like Roman and Kevin,
Oh yeah, and even his match was.
Which, I mean, because it was what it was. It was a Goldberg match. It's a better Goldberg match than you would expect. But
I mean, he almost killed him again. Whatever.
That is true. Yeah. Then he gets interrupted by Edge. Edge comes out and kind of he showers Edge with compliments, and Edge kind of takes offense to that. It's like, dude, what's wrong with you? I'm a legitimate threat because I won the Royal Rumble.
Up.
Yeah, kind of man up. But he says that's not the kind of champion that he is. He's not an opportunist like that. Then interrupted by Sheamus, which felt kind of random at the time. Edge, he's upset with Edge about, like, you know, him being disrespectful towards Drew, and then you know, he says Edge doesn't give out who he's gonna face at WrestleMania, so they're still holding out hope that he may face Roman Reigns, which I think would be the better matchup.
Yep.
But in the end, you get a Sheamus bro kicking Drew McIntyre. So that match will eventually be set up. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. He finally turned on him. We've been waiting, and with no Keith Lee in sight, we're gonna get this match.
Man, MIA. Where is KeithLee? Is a good that put the milk like on a milk carton box? His picture.
Yeah,
like, what's going
I'm
on?
assuming he must have had COVID because Mia Yim wasn't at the Rumble because she had COVID. So maybe there are items. So I believe they live together. I'm not sure. So there could be issues with that. I don't know.
That timing, man, just terrible timing for this stuff. Oh,
yeah, definitely.
Shame.
You would see backstage segments from Randy Orton talking about Edge and what happened at the Rumble the night before. So they set up a match, main event, Randy Orton against Edge for the last time. Next thing on the show was Bobby Lashley taking on Riddle for the U.S. title, and then it ends in disqualification because Bobby Lashley puts Riddle in the full Nelson against the ropes and count to 5. The referee, and it's disqualification. So you beat the living hell out of him after the match. So I guess whatever. I don't know. I don't know where this is going, to be honest with you.
Nope. And Riddle just keeps getting destroyed, and he's kind of a laughing stock at this point. What a far cry from when he was in NXT.
Big time far cry from there. Next thing on the show was Xavier Woods taking on Mustafa Ali. Remember, he's going through, like, you know, like the whole crew of Retribution. He's 1-2 right now. He only has one win against them. He ends up getting the win here, and he's now 2-2 against Retribution. Whatever the hell that means, or wherever the hell that's end up going. It's good to see Kofi out there as well too.
Quite the series.
Yeah. Quite serious, yes. I mean, I don't really know where it's going to end up, but we'll see what happens.
Game 7. I'm calling Game 7.
Yeah. Next thing on the show, we had Miz TV with The Miz and John Morrison. They're introducing Bad Bunny as their guest. They're trying to get Bad Bunny to kind of help them out, become great. I thought this was a terrible segment. Like, that part, you know, that whole part. I think Miz TV is just terrible. I think Miz is just doing some of the worst work of his career right now. And it keeps getting worse. He's trying to get, you know, Bad Bunny to give him a record deal, whatever, and he says no. And then he just came out because his friend wanted to be on Miz TV, and we have the debut on the main roster of Damian Priest. So,
and I felt bad for him because it was like, damn, he's just gonna get the Keith Lee treatment probably, and just fall into obligatory, you know, like Riddle, just all the NXT guys that never got on the Raw. It's just sad. I mean, I would like to see him more on SmackDown because I feel like he would have got a better play on SmackDown or Raw.
Me too. Yep.
I mean, it's a crapshoot on Raw. You're either gonna be on there for a month and they're gonna push you. They're gonna push you for a couple weeks and you're dead again. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. He gets a little bit of the rub, because he is Puerto Rican, so he's there with Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny rub.
Yeah, he gets a little bit of a Bad Bunny rub there, I guess, if you want to call it that.
If that's really a thing, but okay, whatever the Bad Bunny rub it is.
Yeah, and then you get Miz versus Damian Priest. Damian Priest gets the win there with Bad Bunny kind of running around doing stuff, distracting in the background. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of wish, like he would have went to SmackDown. I think he would have better utilized and smarter utilized on SmackDown. There's more space for him. Raw is just a shit show for the most part. Yeah,
and they just don't carry through with their storylines. Like it's just I don't know what's up with the writing team over there, but they're just Nick. They make no sense. They don't follow through. There's no continuity. It's just like they go with something and they drop it, midway through, or it's pointless.
Yeah, stuff gets dropped like that in Raw. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the Archer of Infamy if he stays around, if he gets a push, a decent run on the Red brand. Next thing we have the Hurt Business taking on Lucha House Party for the Raw Tag Team titles. Yeah, they got the win. Hurt Business, so they stay as Raw Tag Team Champions. I don't know. This group is weird because it feels like they're gonna break them up, then they don't, and then they're kind of back to normal, and then after that it's like I don't know. It's super weird.
Yeah, again, this is more of the Raw confusing writing. I don't know if they're trying to swerve us, and they're like, "Oh, we were going to swerve you, but then we're not going to swerve you. We'll swerve you later." You can't follow, you can't make it up. It's all so distracting. You don't even want to pay attention to it. You're just on your phone because of how bad it is.
Yeah, Raw is a real disastrous flow to it, and it just keeps.
It sucks.
I don't know, but the tag team division on Raw is just absolute trash right now, and it's not really getting much better at this point. So we'll see where that goes forward. Next thing we have on the show is another bad spot. All right, so they're asking Charlotte about the match that happened. They lost the tag team titles at Royal Rumble against Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler. So they're gonna have like a number one, whoever wins this matchup gets a title opportunity. They have a bad promo in the back. Asuka, cutting a promo. I guess it was what it was. She just kind of it was more serious. It was more serious than her normal stuff.
It was more serious. Okay, she obviously from Japan. She has an accent. We know she doesn't speak. This is her second language. It's not the best. It's fine. You can do these things, but just help her out a little bit. Like, don't make keep her doing the crazy thing. And I know you want to get serious, but it just came off cringy, and just Charlotte there looking at her. It was also very cringy, just the way she was looking at her. I don't know. It didn't flow. Nothing flows, and this match was a mess too. Raw is a mess. It's just a mess.
Yeah, so the match that ended up happening was Asuka and Charlotte taking on Lana and Naomi, which is an interesting tag team to put together. Naomi returning at the Rumble. I thought she would have went to SmackDown, but she's on Raw now, going against Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. And in the end, here comes Lacey Evans with Ric Flair again on the ramp. Charlotte leaves the match to go after them, and then Asuka gets pinned by Naomi, and Naomi and Lana are gonna get a tag team title opportunity, which may be interesting just to see Lana going up against Nia Jax. Lana did eliminate her from the Royal Rumble, so we could see maybe some funny stuff could happen out of it. I don't know, but it's not really all that great.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think it's okay. It's not like anything else in the match was that interesting that you want to see the women's tag champion. The Lana Nia Jax storyline interesting. I just don't think they're gonna do a good job with it. I just don't trust in the process, so I just don't expect much out of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect much out of it either. Next thing on the show, we had Elias and Jackson Riker taking on a team of Jeff Hardy and the returning Carlito. He was at the Rumble last night, and now he seems to be back with the company, so that's awesome to see Carlito. He has not spit in the face of anybody yet, so I guess everybody must be cool because he spits in the face of people who are not cool. So we'll see what happens. But they got the win, Jeff Hardy and Carlito. Good to see him back. I kind of interested to see how they book him going forward, and let's see what happens. He hasn't been there over a year, so it'd be pretty cool. It's cool to see him back and how, I hope it's not a one-time thing, like he appears the night after Rumble and then that's it. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, let's see how it goes. Looks so good. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it's another piece to play with, so he can be another mid-card guy they could have in there. Yeah. I remember Carlito 06 with Chris Masters was, legit, so they had,
they were like stars. They looked like they were to be like IC and WWE champs at one point.
Yeah, it didn't really work out. Next match, and so we had Alexa Bliss taking on Nikki Cross. I'm still pissed about Alexa Bliss's disappointing performance of the Rumble. She was in there for a little bit and they got thrown out.
Pointless.
Bliss transformed back and forth, right, between like the Bliss that was with Cross when they were tag team champions, and she flipped back to her old self and all that stuff like that. So, but that was it. And just, Alexa Bliss got the win, and that's pretty much it.
It was a match. Yeah. It was a match. it was a lead into what happens in the main event, basically.
Well, the thing was too is that they had this feud going and they just put it on hold for months and they just kind of come back to it and then that's it. I guess it's over, right? So
hey, it's Raw. It makes sense for Raw.
Yeah, it makes sense for Raw. It's like, par for the course.
Raw makes sense.
Par for the course for Raw. So she's leaving and she has a face down with Randy Orton's coming out for his match against Edge. They stare each other down. Then you have Randy Orton versus Edge, which is another really good matchup between the two. It's not on the level of their Backlash match, but it was a really good match. It was really good. And then, strangely enough, the finish of this match was odd, and it's the only takeaway of the show. You see behind us, all of a sudden at the end of the match, you see Alexa Bliss sitting on top of the turnbuckle, and this black stuff comes out of her mouth, and then sexy. That's pretty much it. Randy Orton's distracted, turns around, gets speared, and Edge gets the win, and that's pretty much it. That's all there was to Raw. I mean, that's it. Like, yeah.
I just, when this is the road to the first Raw, to the road to WrestleMania after the Rumble, you expect a little more, just setting up storylines, like what's going to happen next and what's going to be like, what's the crazy stuff going on there. None of that happened today. My only thing that came out of this was I'm guessing the Fiend's coming back and Randy's going to go with the Fiend. And I think Edge is going to be on SmackDown and Raw kind of deciding over the next couple of weeks who he's going to face. I think we're going to get that play. And I'm hoping he goes to SmackDown because I trust the SmackDown crew so much more. And Roman's the hottest thing on the planet, so I just about to do that. But this Raw was real disappointing after a Rumble. You expect more, and we just aren't. We haven't. I don't know the last time I enjoyed a Raw. It's been months, but man, I don't know what they're doing over there. It's crazy how it's the same company. I can't believe Raw and SmackDown are the same company.
Yeah, it's really, really bad stuff. That's all there was to Raw. It was just that one little spot. I guess it was interesting. The feud continues between The Fiend, Alexa Bliss, and Randy Orton. So we'll see where that goes. And Edge has to make his decision on who's he going to face at WrestleMania. It seems like they may have, Roman defend his title at the Chamber or something like that. I would only assume, and have Sheamus taking on Drew McIntyre for the championship at Chamber. And I can only assume what's gonna happen after that. So we have a long way to go still. 60 something days till WrestleMania. So interesting to see. But guys, that's our one takeaway from Monday Night Raw. Let's get into the news about John Cena. John Cena was the first one up.
A lot of John Cena talk.
Yeah. We had a video previously that talked about John Cena, about Triple H saying that, he doesn't seem like he would miss it the way John Cena loves the WWE and all stuff like that. It's WrestleMania season. Now, this is coming from John Cena himself. Currently, I'm in Vancouver shooting Peacemaker, the series for HBO Max. Given the quarantine regulations, if I were to leave Canada upon return, I'd have to quarantine for another 2 weeks. Essentially, that would shut production down. Strictly based on the letter of the law right now, there is no logistical way I can be there. We film now until July. A lot of that makes sense, and a lot of that is most likely all true and not some type of swerve and try to keep a secret. So seems like right now, no John Cena at WrestleMania. Interesting. I'm not like upset about it. It is what it is. Because he probably wouldn't have done anything too crazy anyways. He would have got himself thrown in a feud somewhere, and it could have been good and it could have been bad. But it is Cena. But now we have pretty much almost confirmation that he is not coming back anytime soon. The movie career and all that stuff is taking precedent over everything else.
Yeah, I mean, he's on to bigger and better things, and that's what he's doing. And right now, especially Canada is very strict with. I mean, they can't even have baseball games in Canada. So it just is what it is. And you can't. There might be a slight hope that maybe like the laws will be, now with the vaccine going and all that stuff, and people opening up. I'm guessing, there's a small, tiny chance that they'll just break that 2-week quarantine between countries. But we'll see what happens. But either way, I mean, he's not going to be able to do much. It'd be nice to see him, but whatever. Next year, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Build the rest of the roster. So we don't need all these legends to come back.
Exactly. Utilize the pieces you got currently now that are there all the time to build them into stars to be on WrestleMania and big spots. So that's the news on John Cena. Let's take some news on Christian. Christian made a surprise return at the Rumble last night. Ended up being part of the Final Four in the Rumble, along with Edge, Braun Strowman, and Seth Rollins. Well, technically he was part of the Final Four, but it was actually kind of 5 because Randy Orton showed up at the end.
Yes.
But yeah, pretty much technically number in the Final Four, right? Now, this is quoting him. He says, "All I was ever promised was one more match. That could be it." That's all he said in the WWE Network interview. So it's kind of disappointing if he doesn't wrestle soon, like, and have some type of feud with somebody and have a match or something like that. It's kind of a waste, right? To have him come back and then have him at that late in the Rumble. They could have gave that spot to somebody else. Maybe even if he was in it, but you could have kept an AJ Styles at that point. You could have kept Daniel Bryan in at that point.
Seth Rollins a longer, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you could have done it, but like it'd be disappointing if he doesn't show up for any longer. As of right now, it doesn't seem like it because like honestly, what can he do? And he wasn't on Monday Night Raw. Could he show up on SmackDown? Maybe we could see him on Friday night. Be kind of interesting, but they got to get something out of him because if not, it seems wasted.
Yeah, it definitely feels wasted, but it was just good to see him. You know, that's another one of these injuries. He's with Daniel Bryan and Edge now, where you thought guys that weren't medically cleared or will ever be medically cleared to wrestle. They came back. They did their thing. He looked awesome. He looked in great shape. He looked extra tan. He's Captain Charisma. It was good to see him. The peeps were all about it.
Yep.
So I was excited. SummerSlam time. Maybe they'll save him for after WrestleMania. Something interesting. Maybe Edge will be champion, and then they have a feud together. Who knows? You never know. You can save him for later. For something that has to be right away. I don't really trust. Again, we don't trust the process really right now on Raw for him to be on Raw, and they probably just screw it up anyway. So whatever. But it was good to see Captain Charisma back again. Somebody we thought we never see ever again. In a ring doing his thing. He looked good. I mean, I was excited to see him. It was a good Rumble. I enjoyed the Rumble. It was a solid Rumble. Just so wish Keith Lee was in there, but whatever. COVID sucks, and it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? He came back, one miracle comeback. Just enjoy it, and maybe we'll see him down the road.
Yeah, hopefully we do. Like I said, it would be a waste if it's not. It was cool to see him, but like to have him in that spot and just really not do anything with him afterwards is kind of a waste. But guys, that's the news we have for you guys today. The one takeaway from Monday Night Raw. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let us know in the comment section what you guys think of Christian and John Cena's situation, and just I guess Raw in general. What you think about the whole Alexa Bliss thing with the whole black stuff coming out of your mouth? There's a lot of interesting things to get into there with that whole storyline. But let us know in the comment section. We want to hear from you guys what's going on, and that's pretty much it. If it wasn't working, brother, do not do the job.
Later, Marks.